Hey, it's Chris Angel with
Luke Dancy.
and welcome to Cashback, an amazing effect that I actually performed a version of it on Mindfree. I cannot believe we're giving this away.
That's right, Chris, and we're actually going to give you guys a few different versions you can do right here on the DVD. Every detail's covered. Get ready for the goodness. Cashback. All right, so $1. That should get us something here. We have chips, we have Oreos, we got a little Starburst action. I'll tell you what though, I've always been a fan of Funyuns, and they have really good ones here. They have Flamin' Hot ones.
Ooh, yes, Flamin' Hot Funyuns.
Let's buy some, but let's do it in a very different way. I'm gonna tear off like a little, we'll call it like a little receipt.
Why are you ripping my dollar?
Don't worry, man, I got you, all right? But hold out your hand for me though. I'm gonna give you the it's like a receipt, it's like an IOU, so I can't get too far. Don't worry, I got you. I'm going to put this into the machine right about here. It goes in, of course, we get a little credit, $1 action, and I'm going to push the number 0 to 22. And let's watch the bag as it makes its journey from the top to the bottom, right about there. Man down, I think that's what they say, man down. I'm going to go inside the machine here. I'm going to grab the goodness. It is Funyuns, the Flamin' Hot way. Now, of course, you can see the bag is sealed. It's important to note. And I'm going to give this to you to open. Now, there's nothing in my hands. I'm not doing anything funny. Pop it open. Check it out. What's inside, though, besides the Funyuns? There's something.
Get the out of here, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
All right, let's check it out. All right, I'm going to grab the bag. I want you to check that. Open it up because it is a little unique. Well, just a little bit because it is missing something.
Oh.
But you got the
Come
piece
on.
in your hand, right? You got a little piece, a little receipt. Does it indeed match?
That's crazy, dude.
It does match.
How the hell did you do that? That's crazy.
No, that's cashback. All right, so $1. That should get us something here. We have chips, we have Oreos, we got a little Starburst action. I'll tell you what though, I've always been a fan of Funyuns, and they have really good ones here. They have Flamin' Hot
Ooh,
ones.
yes, Flamin' Hot Funyuns.
Let's buy some, but let's do it in a very different way. I'm gonna tear off like a little, we'll call it like a little receipt.
Why are you ripping my dollar?
Don't worry, man, I got you, all right? But hold out your hand for me though. I'm gonna give you the it's like a receipt, it's like an IOU, so I can't get too far. Don't worry, I got you. I'm going to put this into the machine right about here. It goes in, of course, we get a little credit, $1 action, and I'm going to push the number 0 to 22. And let's watch the bag as it makes its journey from the top to the bottom, right about there. Man down, I think that's what they say, man down. I'm going to go inside the machine here. I'm going to grab the goodness. It is Funyuns, the Flamin' Hot way. Now, of course, you can see the bag is sealed. It's important to note. And I'm going to give this to you to open. Now, there's nothing in my hands. I'm not doing anything funny. Pop it open. Check it out. What's inside, though, besides the Funyuns? There's something.
Get the out of here, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
All right, let's check it out. All right, I'm going to grab the bag. I want you to check that. Open it up because it is a little unique. Well, just a little bit because it is missing something.
Oh.
But you got the
Come
piece
on.
in your hand, right? You got a little piece, a little receipt. Does it indeed match?
That's crazy, dude.
It does match.
How the hell did you do that? That's crazy.
No, that's cashback. What's shaking, guys? Luke Dancy here, and welcome to Cashback. This is something I published back in 2003. I've been sitting on this concept for a while. It's been actually used on television, and now I'm here to share it with you. With Cashback, it's very, very simple. You borrow a bill from someone, you tear off a corner and hand it to them as a receipt so that they know that they're going to get their money back. You then proceed to take the bill and place it into the machine, into the little feeding spot right there. And after that, you watch one of the items in the machine come down the little spiral and fall right into the bottom of the machine. Take the thing out, whether it's a bag of chips, whether it's a candy bar, hand it to your spectator, have them open it, and inside sealed is a dollar bill with a missing corner. And of course, it matches the corner that they're holding. On this DVD, you'll get that handling, a signed bill handling. That's right, you can also perform this with a signed bill and a version with the playing card. So a lot of different things going on here, and I can't wait to share it all with you right now. Welcome to Cashback. All right, guys, I'm getting myself set up for the setup section. This is actually the section on the DVD where I'm going to show you how to do probably the most common version of this, and this is with a bag of chips. As you saw in the demo, the dollar bill went in the machine, and I forget which type of bag it was, but it was a bag of chips. Reach inside and hand out the bag that they can then open up and find the bill inside. So I need to teach you the basic concept at play here. Now, we're going to throw to the location and show you the inside of the machine and all that. So we've already got that going on for you. So right now I'm going to teach you how to set up the bag. Basically with the bag, what you're going to do is very, very simple. It's not going to take you very long at all. So don't worry. It's not like we're doing a lot of big setups here. Basically, for this version, you're going to open up a bag very, very, well, I wouldn't do it too hard. I wouldn't do it too soft. Just enough where you can open up the bag and have it to where there's a little bit of an opening, because normally if you open up a bag all the way, you're going to basically pop both sides of the bag open. What I mean by popping is in the middle of the bag, like on the back, you've got this line, and that's kind of like the center point. And so if you open it, a lot of times you'll spread the bag open all the way. And you know, if you do that, it's not a huge deal, but for the handling I like to show, and just for the spectators, because they're handling everything, I like to try and only do one side. So basically what I've done with this bag is I've gone through the back, and just like you normally would, I've kind of pulled the bag, I've kind of pinched it, and I just pull it apart a little bit. And you can see all you really need. I've even actually gone a little bit more than I needed to. You're just going to kind of get a little corner there of the bag. And even this side of the bag is even still sealed. It's just this little area right here. This is considered, well, we'll call this your pocket. This is where you're basically going to slip your bill inside for the setup. So, of course, I'm going to teach you a little bit later how to do the corner switch. So if you're going to do the corner switch, let's go ahead and get you started now. Tear off a corner from a bill. Don't tear off a very big section, and you'll find out later, in just a little bit later, why not to do that. Tear off a small corner and put it aside for right now. The rest of the bill is going to have a corner missing, and that's the bill that you're going to fold up. I normally fold it up into about fourths, into about quarters, and I just take that literally with the missing corner and drop it right inside the bag. So I'm going to open up the bag very, very loosely there. So I got my little pocket. I'm just going to drop the bill right there inside the bag. And what I actually like to do now is shake up the bag so that the bill's not just sitting on top. It's not bad if that happens because it's easier for them to see what's going on, but to make it feel even more impossible, I like to kind of shake the bag up so the bill gets kind of mixed into the chips, or in this case, glorious cheese puffs. Oh yes. And so now you're set up for the bag. Now the only other real thing you need to worry about here is the bag itself, because you've opened it, you've released some of that, it's not pressure, but it's some of that added air that's inside of the bag. So what you want to do is you want to take the bag, and you're going to, just like a balloon, just kind of blow some of that air back into the bag. And you can see it go. Now you're just going to run your fingers along the top and try to keep it together. Now, the other thing that you need, now this is technically set up, but I wouldn't perform with this because you need to now seal the bag back together. What I like to use is contact cement. Now this is not to be confused with rubber cement because this is stronger. It's got a stronger hold, it dries really, really quick, and basically it has a permanent bond. Now, just because it's permanent doesn't mean it won't ever come apart, but it does mean that it's going to hold the bag together much stronger than rubber cement would, which is important here because they want to still feel like when they open the bag that it's from a sealed bag. If you want to, you can also explore other things like super glues and crazy glues and things like that. Sometimes they take a little bit longer to dry, so I would highly recommend going with the contact cement. You can find this at pretty much any of your office stores, any place like that, maybe even like a Target or Target, or maybe even Walmart. So you can find that very, very easily. Contact cement. Once again, it's not rubber cement, but it's contact cement. Very, very cool stuff. So that's what you're going to use, but it does look a lot like rubber cement because on the inside, just like the rubber cement, of course you have your little paintbrush. And I'm going to try to get some of this excess off here because you don't need a whole lot for this to work. So I'm going to get this down here and just get rid of some of that extra stuff. All right, so now what you're going to do is I'm going to flip the bag around so you guys can see it. And the section that you've opened, all you need to do is basically just paint that section very, very lightly. And I normally do it on this side because if they're going to open up the bag from the back, like from here, they're going to normally hold the bag from the front and kind of go in this way. So I like to do this on this side of the label. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, because it's going to adhere to both sides. But normally, like on the silver side, is where I'll put a little bit, and I'll just show you how this looks in just a second. I'm just going to paint this on. Go all the way across. If you want to be safe, grab a little bit more. You don't have to, but you know, this isn't going to be permanently sealed. You just want to give the illusion that the bag is sealed. So I'm just going to paint a little bit on there. Drop that back in. Make sure you always seal this stuff back up, because if you don't, it does have a tendency to dry itself out, and you have to go buy more. No good. So basically, before you let it get back together once again, I would just put a little more air back inside. Ooh, that smells bad. And I got a little bit there on my face. There we go. A little bit off there. And you're going to take this right here, and you're just going to seal it back just like so. And if you want to make sure you get a really nice seal, what I would recommend doing is putting this down on a table and just kind of using the edge of the table to then push down on that spot. And you can actually run your finger all the way across just so that it kind of looks the same all the way across. Right about there. And so now, I would wait just a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds or so, and you will now see that you've got what looks to be a sealed bag of chips all over again. And the cool thing is, once this has had a chance to dry, when you go to open it and pop it open, it will literally feel like the bag is popping open for the first time. The other fun thing about this is, realize when people normally open up a bag of chips, they don't open it at the very, very top. They open it more towards the middle, like this, which actually gets away from worrying about whether this is sealing too much, because normally when you open it from the middle, it's then going to pop the top and it's just naturally going to slide apart. So the only part that they're really going to realize or be concerned about is the middle part, because that's where you're actually going to pull it apart. And it's not like you're pulling it at the part where it's sealed, if that makes any sense. If you were pulling it right there, you might feel it slip apart. But because you're pulling the bag and opening it, or actually having your spectator open it like this, all the friction, all that, everything's happening in the middle. And then everything will just pop open. And I'll just show you that now. It actually felt just like I was opening up the bag right there. So now if you want to, of course they're going to be holding the bag, but if you want to get the camera in here, I'll now show you that inside the bag, just get a little close up there, somewhere inside that bag is our dollar bill. So let's get a nice tight shot of that. I'm going to stand up here so you can see it. I'm going to open up this a little bit more. Somewhere there inside the bag, there it is, right there is the bag. Inside there is the dollar. So that's the really fun thing, is even if you shake it up a little bit, it'll still be somewhere near the top. And the fun thing is now it's totally out of your hands, and all you have to do is have them reach inside, grab the bill, hand you the bag back, which is the fun part, because their hands are tied at this point. Remember this, they're holding the corner of the bill in this hand. Now, basically, they're now going to open this up, put the corner in their hand, pop it open, and now when they go to reach to take the dollar out, it makes sense for you to take the bag away from them. So now all heat is off the bag. They know in their head it was sealed, and now all heat's off of that. You can even throw it away if you want to. And now they, of course, will match up the corner, which we'll get into a little bit later. And that's basically the most basic handling of the cashback principle. You're just going to basically take items that you have, bag of chips, and we're going to go into the next chapter on how to use smaller things like a pack of Starburst, candy bar, or even gum, if you want to do something like that. Because in the more advanced version that I'm going to teach a little bit later, you can actually walk up to any machine and basically perform this in a moment's notice. So that's the fun thing. I'm giving you this version, which is the version where you're actually going to load the bag into the machine beforehand and hide it. And then later on, I'll teach you a version you don't even have to worry about setting up the machine at all. You just have to carry something with you, and you can perform this anytime, anywhere. All right, so now I've taken you step by step in the studio how to set up the bag. Of course, now you know all the secrets to do to make the bag basically the gimmick that it is. Basically, you're putting the bill inside the bag with the missing corner, sealing off the bag as we covered before. Now, the real secret to this lies in the machine itself. The secret is so simple, yet so fun to do. As you notice, each machine has a lip. This is basically where the machine will open up is you can see Mark's opening up the machine there. And inside the machine is, well, it's different in every machine, but there's an area in the bottom that has a little extra space where when you see if I put the bag inside, you can actually tuck it back a little bit, and now it's basically impossible to see. Now what I would recommend doing is taking the item, the bag of chips, and stuffing it as far to the left or right as you like. And that way, when other people go in the machine and use it, they're not going to look in this side of the machine. They're going to look basically in the middle area.
You could actually have the bag. I mean, you could actually have the bag loaded.
Yep.
And I mean, an hour before you do this.
If
and
not
people,
more, yeah.
People don't even notice it because when they buy something, they want to buy their candy. They go reach for the candy. They don't see what else is there.
Yeah.
You know, and if they do, you're around anyway.
And
so.
the other cool thing is too, from this angle, because no one's going to go like all the way up here, you can actually see that there's not. You can see that it's basically it's clean because of the way the bag is tucked in there.
This is not tucked in correctly. It's actually made. These things are made like as a security factor. You can't really see what's going on inside there.
Yeah.
You can only really see.
Yeah.
When it goes down, it actually hides. It almost like disappears once it hits there. So that's a cool little factor.
So yeah, that's basically the secret behind most of this, at least with this version, is that you're hiding something before the effect begins and leaving it there secretly. And as Mark just mentioned, you could literally have that there hours, even maybe a day. But of course, double check that it's there before you want to do the effect. But you can have this here with no worries. And the beautiful thing is, you actually see an item fall and drop down into the machine, and people would swear it's the same item. Why would it not be? So it's even more impossible.
Correct.
So that's basically the setup with the bag. We're also going to go over another version a little bit later. It teaches you how to do this with an item that you don't preload in the machine, but you actually load in the machine in real time, which is pretty cool too. So that's the setup with the machine. You want to hide the item in the machine, tuck it in there, and have no worries, and then you're ready to perform this basically at a moment's notice. So that is the setup of your bag. Okay, so now I've shown you how to set up, the cashback bag. We'll call that the cashback bag with a bag of chips. Not very hard to do at all, won't take you very much time. Once again, you just seal the top of the bag, seal it back, good to go. I'll eat these later. The other thing that you can use, though, are something that's a little bit easier to manipulate in real time. With the bag of chips, because it's a larger item, it's hard to get it into play during the routine. So as I showed you on location with the actual vending machine, you would hide the bag of chips in the bottom of the machine behind the little flap. Basically pretty easy to do. But what if you want to do this at a machine where you don't have a chance to get there beforehand and you want to perform something like this? Well, here's what you do. Now let's assume that most machines have starbursts. Now not every machine will, I can't guarantee that, but it is a very common candy. So starburst is something that I like for a couple different reasons, and we'll get to one of the reasons in just a minute. But the other reason I like it a lot is because it's, basically it's something you could technically palm. As I show you on location with an actual machine, you're able to basically have one of these set up in your sleeve. So you can show your hands empty, and then as you reach down to go into the machine, you can basically have this come out of your sleeve and into your hand and load it into the machine. So it looks like it is the actual candy that just fell down. Now, if you are worried about not having starburst in that machine or something that matches, just casually go by the machine beforehand, take a look what's in there, and grab what you need and go from there. But most machines will have something like this or gum, something very small. Now, the other thing a lot of machines will have, of course, is like a candy bar. Candy bars can work, certain types can work, but as you'll notice on this one, for instance, I was opening up, playing around with it, and it's very, very fragile. The material is very, very fragile, and it's almost paper-like, so it's going to break or it's going to rip, which is going to make your life not so much fun. So you can experiment and try candy bars if you want, but the thing I like is starburst for reason number 2. Compared to this paper-like material, this is very strong. It's almost like a waxy kind of paper, thick stock kind of paper. So it's got a lot more give to it, a lot more, you have a lot more freedom with setting this up. So basically, what you're going to do is, because these ends are like this, they're kind of tapered out like this, you're going to use that to your advantage here. What you're going to do is you're going to separate the edge here on this side, and again on the other side. I'm just going to separate those ends, and there's a very, very thin layer of glue inside there. And all you really need to do, and I actually had a lot of help from my buddy Jesse Feinberg on this, who was like the MacGyver of magic. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to take the 2 ends and you're just going to start to pull the glue apart very, very loosely, and you can actually get a little tunnel in there. And this is, I've already worked this one in a little bit, so just take your time and really just start to pull the ends away from each other. It's always the opposite ends. It's always the opposite ends that you're going to want to pull apart from each other. And that's what's going to help get that glue apart. So always like this end here and this end here. Basically just pull them away from each other and you'll get that type of action right there. That's what you want. Very, very gently do that. Take your time. There's no rush for this. Take your time doing this. And before you know it, you'll have this set up and ready to go. So that's how you get the pack where you need it. And the really cool thing is, I don't know if we can get a shot of this or not because it's actually inside the pack. But on the inside here, there's like a little layer where the candy is pushed against this side, so it's almost like a little empty space up top, and that's where your bill is going to go, right inside the top there. Now, of course, a bill isn't going to fit the way that it is, so once again, you're going to tear off your corner, and you're going to put it aside. So this is going to be your setup bill, the one that you're going to reveal at the end. So the corner goes off to the side, and this is the bill that's going to be left without a corner. You're now going to take the bill and basically fold it up into, looks like a little, it's long ways. You want it to be long ways. Almost something that looks like a cigarette. So it goes like that, and you're actually going to bend it over at the end. So you've got what could look like a little tube right about there. Okay? This is what you're now going to slide into the Starburst pack. So once again, I'm going to open up this end, get my finger in there, and once again, Magical Mastermind Jesse Feinberg shared a great tip with me, and that is grab like a pen or something if you want to. And because your fingers are, you know, a little chubby, they are not as thin as a pen, you can actually use the pen to help push that all the way into. And you can actually get it as far in there as you like. So now it's actually somewhere in the Starburst pack. What I'd recommend now is just flattening out the pack because it will be slightly thicker, which of course it's candy, it's a pack. No one's going to notice that right away. But for you, just to make it look as normal as possible, I would try to flatten it out as much as possible. So now that you've got the bill in there, nice and good, once again, we're going to go back to our contact cement. And the same thing that we did before, you're going to take a little bit and just run it along the inside of the label right in here. I'll use the pen to illustrate right in there. So that now when you bring this back together, it's all going to stick together. Now, if you want to also, these sides here, these two wings, I guess we could call them, I'd put a little bit there too because everything's kind of coming back together. It's all closing back together. So you want to have as much glue on that as possible so that when it all comes together, everything sticks together. So I'm going to crack open my contact cement here and just add a little bit. Once again, you don't need a whole lot. You know, just get what you need and get out of there. So I'll just get a little bit here. That stuff smells great. A little dab. And we'll get it on the table there. It's okay. A little bit there. A little bit there. Just coat the inside lightly. And as always, as I always like to say, seal up your bottle once you're done. This stuff will dry out, and that means you have to go and buy more. Nobody wants that. So now I have this coated with my contact cement. So now the last thing to do, of course, is to just take all of this. You can see the sides will go in once you start to push, and you want it to just look like it did before. And get some of the excess glue off of there. Got a little extra stuff there. Just squeeze it back together. Let it dry for a few seconds. And you now have what looks to be a totally legit sealed Starburst pack. And that is your setup. The only real thing you need to keep in mind during all this is you have an extra corner of a bill. Never ever lose that. That's what you're going to use to switch when it comes time to switch the corner so that the bill that ends up inside this matches the corner that they're holding. So always keep hold of that corner. You don't want to lose that. Always keep that in a safe spot. And so now this is sealed, and this is sealed, and now there's a bill right there inside of your Starburst pack. Once again, the really fun thing is when you're ready to perform this, you borrow your bill, do your corner switch, which I'm going to teach you in just a minute, and this is up your sleeve. And I do have a on-location shot that we're going to go to show you that. But basically, I like to have this up underneath my, my armpit, and when I'm ready to go, this literally just slides down into my hand. And when the other Starburst falls down, I literally just go in with this hand and load this into the machine as I push the other one out of the way and pull this out and hand it to them. So it looks like, and it is legitimate, you've never gone into the machine until you do the reveal of the dollar bill. So that's everything that you need to know about the more impromptu version of cashback. You don't have to load anything into the machine, but you need to load something into the machine real time as you're performing the effect. Very, very easy handling, very, very simple to do. Very, very minimum setup. Won't take you more than a couple minutes, as you saw, and once you get to do this a lot, you'll be doing this in no time. Just keep track of those torn corners. A really good tip here, if you're going to do this a lot, or if you want to do it more than once, I would maybe have a little partition in your wallet or a little envelope, or just keep them separated so that you always know which corner goes with which bill. So if you're going to do a bunch of these, I would take the torn corner and actually attach it to this, and I would do the same with the next one and the next one, so you never confuse yourself with which corner goes with which bill. Always keep track of those. Organization is important. All right, so now that you have the item in your sleeve hiding there and it's stuck in your armpit there, so you can show your hands empty, move your hands around with freedom. Basically what you do now is when you show your hands empty and you're going to lean down to take the item out of the machine, the item is now going to slide down your sleeve and into your hand secretly. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to slide down, I'm going to catch it right there, kind of like you would with a coin that you're sleeving, and it's now hidden there. So now when you lean down to basically go inside and get the item, you're going to secretly load it into the machine as you push the other one in, so it's hiding in the bottom of the machine. Leave that behind as you bring out the one that was just in your sleeve. And now you can very, very cleanly show the item that you prepared with the dollar bill inside of it. Hand that out, have them open it up, and check out the bill inside, and it matches the corner. The really cool thing is this is basically impromptu, because if you pick an item that's very common like Starburst, you can use basically any vending machine. If not, just check out what's in the machine. Go back later, have the item ready, and you can perform this with any vending machine. You don't have to have anything set up in the machine itself. You are the setup this time. And that is an almost impromptu version of Cashback. 400, 500, who am I kidding? All right, so this is the torn corner switch. Now this is as old as I can remember. I don't even know where the original source is, but I can tell you the truth, I didn't come up with it. This is something that a lot of people use for a bill to impossible location when they want to have it appear inside of a lemon or some other type of fruit. It's a great principle, and if you don't know it, this is going to really excite you because it's super easy, super sneaky, and it fools a lot of people. You know, a lot of people think you have to sign a bill for it to feel like it's their bill, but honestly, using a torn corner and having it match the bill, I can tell you the truth, it has the exact same impact for the layman. I'm not trying to perform this for magicians, this is for laymen, so get ready to learn something fun for them. This is basically the whole crux of the cashback principle, because the bill that goes in the machine is the bill that's actually theirs. It's the corner that we're switching. So basically, before you begin the effect, you need to set up by tearing off a corner from a bill already. So most vending machines, the item that you want to buy, the bag of chips, is $1. So I like to use $1. It all makes sense. That's what's fun about this. So what you're going to do is you're going to tear off the corner of the bill. Now the thing is, you don't want to tear off too much. If you tear off too much, the machine will not take the bill. So you want to kind of go somewhere where they can tell the corner is missing and they can tell that it actually matches when you tear it off. So I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to give you an idea of about how big you want the corner to be. And I also, just so that you see here, I also tear off the bottom left corner of the bill, and you'll see why in just a minute for my handling, because I'm right-handed. So you tear off the corner like so. This is, in essence, your setup. Now what you're going to do is you're going to keep this extra corner somewhere safe, in your pocket, in your wallet. You don't want to lose this. This is what's important. Now the other bill is the bill that you're going to load into your item, whether it's your bag of chips or your Starburst, as we taught before. Fold it up, and this is technically now out of play. So this, once again, is the torn corner missing bill, and this goes loaded into your item already. So we'll get this out of the way. It's gone. So now when you're ready to perform, you borrow a bill. And while you're having them get the bill, you're going to reach into your pocket or wherever it is and palm this torn corner. I like to clip it between my fingers like so. So it's not even palming it, it's literally just clipped right about there. Okay? So clip that in between your fingers, and now you borrow the bill. Of course, you want to tear off the same corner. That's important. So you're going to do the exact same thing. Try to tear it as closely as possible to the other one. Of course, you're not going to get an exact match, but you want to try to tear it as close to the other one as possible. No one's going to be staring you down at this point. They're surprised when they don't know what the heck you're doing. Now, the cool thing is you've got the corner, you've got the bill, and so now what you're going to do is the switch. You're going to have them hold out their hand as you do the move. The reason I have them hold out their hand is twofold. Number one, because you want them to grab the corner. And number two, it helps hide the action. So basically what's going to happen is you gesture for them to hold out their hand with the bill and your hand here. You're going to switch hands. This bill is going to go on top of this corner as this hand comes away and looks like it's carrying the same piece. So up to speed, you have this clipped here. You show the piece, you come under, and you have them hold out their hand. I usually do that in one motion. So I'll show you up to speed what it should look like. We'll pretend like the table is their hand. You got the torn corner, you come here, hold out your hand for me, and just drop it into their hand. That's all you need to do, just drop it into their hand. Now, actually what I like to do sometimes, if you really want to get ballsy, is I actually take the corner and I'll hold it up to the bill. Even though it doesn't match, I'll actually go like, look, you can see it's like a, and of course I'm showing you the back side of the bill. That's not what I would normally do. You can actually show the corner matches, and it really doesn't. I do it as a ruse. It's a swindle. So look, it actually matches the, you don't want to forget this motion where it actually, this image of where the pieces match just like a puzzle. And then hand them the piece, and now you can legitimately take the bill and slide it into the machine, and it'll accept the bill. Now, as you notice, as I do that, I'm literally just leaving that extra piece behind. So this is underneath here. And as I reach for the machine, I literally just palm the piece here and go, what do I want from the machine? And just feed it right into the machine the way that it should go. It'll take the bill. The item comes down, you do your switch, whatever way I taught you before, and now inside the bag is the missing dollar bill, and the corner that they're holding really will match the bill that's inside that item. So practice that. Don't rush through it. Don't be worried. People, for one, they can't understand why you're tearing a bill, and number two, because they're getting involved in holding out their hand, there's a lot of built-in misdirection. So practice this a little bit, have fun with it, and at the end, make sure you really sell it. Make sure they get it in their head that the corner really is the corner that matches the bill. Really sell that. That's what's going to be the image that's in their mind at the end of the whole effect, that their dollar bill, their bill, ended up inside the machine. So that's the torn corner switch. That's what you're going to use to do this. Practice it, have fun with it, and get out there and have some fun. All right, so a lot of people wonder, can you do this with a signed bill? And Mark, what's the answer?
You can.
Oh, yeah.
You and I were playing with some stuff.
Yes.
You showed me this is a great effect, and I figured, what if you could take it to another level or a different kind of aspect, which is a signed bill? And I thought about it, and I said, I don't know if it's even necessary, but there are people out there that want to do that version. And I came up with a different kind of handling for the signed rendition of this. And what we have here is what like we talked to you before. You used rubber cement for the prepared version. For this, you're actually going to use contact cement.
Yeah.
Okay, you can buy this probably the same place you buy an Elmer's glue, an art store, or even a Home Depot, something like that. Okay,
Absolutely.
It's called contact cement. This is a Weldwood brand. All right, and what you're going to do is you're going to open up the bag, just the same way we showed you how to open up the prepared version.
Yep.
And when you do that, you open up a little bit, and you're going to line up the sides of both sides of the bag. You see that? Okay, so mine's a little bit dry right now because we've been sitting with it for a while, but that's what's going to happen. And once you have that, this is going to go inside of the
Open
inside of the machine.
So don't
Now,
seal your bag.
Exactly. Don't seal it yet. But what's going to happen is this is going to go in here, and instead of placing it in and hiding it under the lip like one would, you're actually going to leave it out there, kind of, but as far to the side, to the right or the left as possible. If you're going to put it to the right, you want the hole to be sticking outward so you can get to it quicker. Okay. And that's going to be there. That's your preparation for the machine.
Right.
All right. And you want to do this, right before you do the effect or as soon as possible. What I want to teach you guys here is the switch that's kind of involved that you're going to actually be doing for the effect. Okay.
Yeah.
What you're going to do is you're going to borrow whatever bill you're asking for. What you need to do is whatever bill you're asking to borrow, you want to have other kind of money that's not theirs. Okay. That's not like the dollar bill. For example, I have 20s and 5s.
Yep.
Okay. But I don't have any 1s per se. I actually do have a 1, but this is a 1 that they don't know that I have. So when I show it to them and I explain, I say, Luke, I don't have any like small change. Do you have a dollar bill I could borrow? And I show that I have only some other change like so. But really, what I really have is I actually have a dollar bill, folded in half, face outwards, okay, like so, okay. And this is inside my hand, much like you would hold onto a playing card or a deck of cards.
Yep.
And this is gonna be underneath the other bills, all right. And what you're gonna do is you're actually gonna place this on one half. You see that other side of the bills like so, on half of it like that, okay. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna hold it there, place the money on top, and now you can just show you have money in your hands without a problem. One thing I like to do is if I'm gonna have this in my pocket is I'll have everything folded. I'll have the $1 bill folded next to it, so when I come out of my pocket I can pull it out and literally open up my money and I don't flash anything, and I just say, look, I have some 20s, I have some 5. I don't have any ones though, and as long as I don't flash it, I'm pretty good. All right. And when I say to my spectator, I say, here's a marker. What I'd like to do is I'd like to sign the back of the dollar bill, sign your name on it, initials, whatever you want to do. All right? And once they do that, you just wait for them to do like so, right? And Luke is signing my name, but you can see it can be any signature, anything you want. And once that happens, you say perfect. We're going to use this bill. We're going to borrow the bill, and what's going to happen is it's very similar to the quarter switch that Luke teaches.
Yes.
I'm actually just switching a whole bill, and when I'm talking, literally, it looks like I'm switching nothing. It looks like I'm just switching hands. But what's actually happening is I'm switching a whole bill for another whole bill. And this happens on the offbeat. The dollar bill's here. This is their signed dollar bill. I fold it like so, very much in the same way that I have the bill that's in my hand hidden underneath. And I say, thank you for the bill. Luke, I'm gonna borrow this bill. I'll give it back to you though, okay? And what I want you to do is we actually use the machine. We don't need this money anymore. And what's actually happening is literally I'm switching one bill for the other. This bill's here, right? I'm going like so. And as I switch from hand to hand, I'm going to grab the wad of cash from this hand. My thumb's gonna go on top. It's gonna pinch, and the other hand's just literally gonna come forward with the other bill. So in fast motion, it looks like I take the bill from somebody. I say, here's what we'll do. We'll take the bill, and I start on the switch.
And think of it a lot like doing the corner switch, just in with bigger objects, basically, for the most part, yeah.
So this money goes away. I don't need that money anymore. I put it away, like so. And now I have here a non-signed version, okay? Now, this is something that I just want to show you right now, that when you have this money, you're not going to necessarily put it away right away. You're going to put the money away, but you need to have this bill because we're going to load this bill into the bag soon. So once you do the switch, you take the bill, you say, okay, we have your bill. We're going to put it into the machine.
And if you notice, the reason why Mark had me sign the bill on the back is because this machine, like most, I would say 99%, actually want you to put the bill in with the face up.
Exactly.
So the thing is, if you sign the front of the bill, you're screwed here because you couldn't switch the bill and have the effect work.
Exactly. So now this bill is going to go inside. All right? They think it's their signed bill. For all intents and purposes, it's their signed bill.
Yeah.
Now, while I'm talking and asking which food they want, literally what's going to happen is this. I'm going to fold this bill in half again. So this is already folded in half. I'm going to fold it one more time in half.
Right.
And the way that I do that is literally the money in my hand, literally as I'm talking, I'm going to be looking up and asking, which bill do you want? And what's going to happen is my hand's going to do this. My first finger is just going to fold over, and it's going to fold that bill in half again.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, you have all the misdirection in the world while you're
Exactly.
you're technically going to ask them what they want to eat because you're going to have to prepare the item that you want to pick.
Right.
But as you're pointing out, all the things and you're making your decision, you have all the time in the world to do this because they're all looking here.
Correct.
So don't put a whole lot of heat on your hands
Correct.
or worry about it because you've got a lot of misdirection to work
Right.
with here.
So now that I've done that, right? So I put the money in, and I go fold the bill once. So now that bill's folded in another quarter, all right, like so.
Yeah.
And now what's happening is when I go to look at when I ask, oh, which one did you like? What are you talking about? Maybe I'm putting the marker away. I'm going to fold it one more time in half. And all that's happening is literally as I'm talking, my hands are coming together.
Yep.
It looks like I'm just holding on to the money.
Look how much cover you have with all these bills.
There's no way that they think I'm folding a bill underneath other bills.
Yep.
In full speed, it looks like this. So they hand the bill to me. I do the switch, and I say, Luke, do you like chips? Do you like candy? What do you like?
Candy.
I like candy. And the thing is, they're talking to me. They're interacting with me. There's no way that they saw me fold that bill.
Yep.
So now that that's done, okay, they say, oh, I like this, I like that. You're basically going to tell them, you know what we'll do? I'm going to choose what I want to eat, and I choose the Ruffles cheddar sour cream because that's the bag that I have prepared down there. So I say, okay, well, let's choose A7, and what happens is this: if you get a close-up shot, I hit A7, and
Here it comes.
that food starts to come down, right? Now, right now, okay, this is actually, I'm glad this actually happened because I don't want this to ever happen to you guys, is the food is actually on top of the bag that I have prepared. So what you want to do is you want to kind of make sure that when you pick the food that it's not going to fall on top of the bag. That's a bad thing. But let's just say for argument's sake that it fell far away from it. That's okay, all right? If it hits the top of it, try to figure it out, maybe use your body to block, but you don't want that to happen. What's going to happen now is, okay, if we're just going to back up a little bit, you'll see that I put my wad of cash away. And as I put my wad of cash away, my hand with the bill is going to come downwards, like so.
So you're palming off.
I'm palming off
the signed bill.
The signed bill.
signed
So literally, I go, okay, oh, perfect. We chose the cheddar
so
and sour
natural,
cream,
yeah.
and now I have a signed bill in my hand, palmed here in my fingertips. Okay. Now when I say, okay, let's see, cheddar and sour cream. Let's grab that. Now what's happening is when I go to get the bag, right? Literally, I'm going to get the bag, but what's going to happen is I'm going to load the mouth of that bag with the bill, and I'm going to try to do this as slowly as possible. This is not about speed. Okay, it's a matter of, because we all know, as we're all used to, when we go to reach for some food, it takes a little bit because we're trying to, finagle the way to get into the bag.
And you know what you can do? You can actually pull the bag out so we can see it. Yeah, let's just go ahead and pull it up so we can actually see what's going on down inside the machine.
So let's just say this is inside the machine. When I go to reach into the machine, I open up with one hand. This hand's going to go inside, and I'm literally going to load that bill into the Ruffles bag. Now, you got to be careful that this doesn't stick to anything else. And all I really do is, before the trick starts, I make sure that the hole is as big as possible. What's going to happen is I go inside, I load the bag, all I do is just push it in, and as soon as it's in there, right, as soon as you realize it's in there, I just squeeze tight, and I come back out with the bag out of the machine. And what happens is because it's contact cement, upon contact, that's why they name it contact cement, upon contact, it is sealed forever. It's like it's a brand new bag. Now this is a little dirty right now just because, like I said, we've been playing with it a couple times, but if you notice that if you can hit the seam correctly, it looks like it's a regular bag. And
that's the cool thing too, when you take the bag out, and if you're worried about that, you can actually basically seal it as you're showing the bag too, like what you're doing now. You can say, look, there's no holes, there's nothing. And as he's doing that, he's actually causing the pieces to stick even more together.
Another tip too is that I put the contact cement on the upper lip. If you can put it a little lower into the bag, that actually helps a lot because what happens is you don't get any residue of the glue at all. So once that happens, you pull the bag out and you say, look, bag like so. You can show it around, right? And because it's sealed, it shouldn't jump out, anything like that. You say, this is what we'll do. Look, the potato chips are for me, but what's inside is for you. And then I can open it up. You can hand it to them to open up. I recommend that if you're going to open it up, they're going to open it up, you want to seal the bottom of the bag so that this can be a clean open. You can open the bag cleanly without showing any glue. But if you can open the bag, I just open it myself. Open up like so. Show what's inside there. And show your hands cleanly, and then open up inside, dump whatever inside there, and show that there's a signed bill inside of the bag.
Right on.
See? I don't know where it is, but we all know it's in there.
We didn't load one in there, did we?
No, we did. Let's see.
I'm kidding.
There it is, right there. There's a bill. It doesn't mean anything until you show that it's actually signed.
My name. That's my name.
Exactly. And like I said, once again, we'll go over it a couple more times. I think we showed them how to go over the contact cement. We just want to show them here the whole setup.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same idea that we do with the prepared bag that you hide. It's just you're basically doing the loading and sealing in front of your spectators this time, which is a lot of fun. And really takes us to the next level because a signed bill, some people don't think that a torn corner is enough of a convincer, but I guarantee you any layman will think that's just as strong
especially when it matches.
As the signed bill. But to be honest, we want to give you both versions and more so that you have more to play with and you're not wondering, well, what if I wanted to do it that way? And that was a great suggestion from Mark, and I'm really glad that he shared it because I kind of stopped with just the torn corner, and Mark took it to the next level. So big props to Mr. Calabrese.
Thank you very much. But like I said, one last thing I wanted to say is that if you're going to have them open the bag themselves, load the bottom of the bag. And everything is the same. The only difference is that you're loading the bottom of the bag, so when the bag comes out, you say, here, look, you open it themselves. And they're never going to look at the bottom of the bag. They're just going to open it like they do every single bag of chips. They open it up, they'll see no glue, and it'll be fine. If you open it yourself, it's okay. It doesn't matter what side you glue it on. But this is just for, for the sake of
Give me one of those. One of those.
Oh, actually, you tell me how that tastes, but here's the thing. If this is prepared and it takes like 20 minutes or so, it'll start tasting kind of crappy because the contact cement the fumes will start hitting the food. So you might not want to eat your potato chips after you do this effect.
You know what? Let's seal these back and give them to Jesse. Let's give them to Jesse. All right, guys, this one's a lot of fun. This is actually based on a principle from David Acker, who I've gotten permission from to teach you this. This is called the Ghost in the Machine principle. This was published back in the Magic Menu. I was also in David's book, Natural Selections 2. So the idea of doing something with the vending machine or the slot machine to cause a change is from David Acker. But I use it in a slightly different way, and I want to show you that right now. So big props to David Acker. The really exciting thing about a vending machine or a slot machine, even like a Metro machine where you put the tickets in, you can actually put a playing card in it. And the really fun thing is if you put 2 and 2 together, so let's just say that you want to do a very simple thing like a double lift, and you show one card and you turn it over and you put the card in the machine where you would the money. If you just tap it in, it'll go in and spit it back out, and then you have a change of one card to another. That's the David Acker principle at play. And it's nothing more than just having the card suck in, come out, and they think the machine has something to do with the change. The way that I use it, though, is the same way I taught you earlier to prepare the dollar bill in the machine. You're actually going to prepare a playing card in the machine. So take your bag of chips, seal it up with the force card, and hide that into the bottom of the machine. When you're ready to perform, you want to use, in my handling, a blank card. You can get these in any magic shop, a blank face card, that's all it is, and you're going to have that and your force card on top of the deck. My handling is I have the blank card on top and my force card below, and I do nothing more than a riffle force. So I cut the cards, and I keep a break right there in between the halves. I riffle down, they say stop, I lift off at my break and cut everything back to the top, and I perform a double lift, which now shows the ace of spades, which would be my force card that's already in the bag. What I do now is I have them watch very closely as I take the ace, turn it over, take the top card, which is now the blank card, and I put that in the machine, tap it in, it comes out, and the exciting thing now is, check it out, it's actually blank, and they think that somehow the card has vanished, which is a lot of fun because before you perform the effect, you load the machine with your money and say, you know what, first I'm going to show you something, but I want you to watch first. I'm going to put some money in, we'll get back to that. And then you perform the change from the card into the blank card, and then you're able to then pick the item, watch it fall, go down, do your switch at the bottom of the machine, and pull out the bag with the playing card inside now, and you've really gone full circle from a selected playing card that vanishes and appears inside of a sealed item in the machine. So that's just another really, really fun version of the cashback principle at play. And once again, a big thank you to David Acker for letting me share with you guys his Ghost in the Machine principle. And hope you guys have a lot of fun with that one. And don't forget, you can use this on a lot of other things, slot machines, vending machines, metro machines. Just have fun. Anything with a dispenser where you put money in. Usually you can put a card in and out, and it's a really, really fun thing. It's so simple, but it's a real fuller, and then you'll have fun with it. All right, guys, that's about all I have for cashback. These are my final thoughts, a few things I'd like to say about the effect at hand. First of all, this is once again published back in 2003. This was in a small publication. A bunch of my buddies, it was like a monthly, I think it was either monthly or quarterly, it's been a long time, called Half Baked. And this was put together by a Canadian magician by the name of Ryan Peeling. I submitted ideas, Nathan Cranzo, Ben Harris, I think David Acker did as well. There were a whole lot of us, and we always shared our ideas, and it was basically just like a half-baked magazine filled with ideas that we were all just kind of throwing out there and all collaborating on, and it was a lot of fun. So big shout-out to my friends back in those days. I miss them a lot, but yeah, that was in Half-Baked, where it was called Free Candy. And of course, as you can see, why I called it Free Candy is because if you think about it, if you perform this where you borrow a bill from someone and you get the item out and the bill is inside and they keep the bill, well, in essence, you're basically getting something for free and they're getting their money back. And that's why now it's called cash back, because they're technically getting their cash back and you're getting what you need as you get out of the way. Also, a few other shout outs along the way. My good friend Jesse Feinberg, creative monster, and he's always there for me to bounce ideas off of. And he's had a lot of great input with this, and I don't think I could have gotten it this far without his help. So big shout outs to him. Jesse's one of my favorite guys, and we have a lot of fun, not only working on magic, but also playing craps here in Vegas. Yeah. Feinberg's got you. Also, thank you to you for supporting magic and what we do. So that's about it. That's my rant for cash back and everything. A lot of other fun stuff going on here. Once again, big thank you to you guys, Jesse Feinberg, of course, Chris Angel, as I mentioned, Bob Massey, who's behind the scenes making this look super sexy, and my good friend, Live, Mr. Stu Stone. He's behind the scenes too, helping us out today, so I want to give a shout out to my buddy Stu. I think that's about it. I've given you everything I have, but if you have any ideas or any feedback, I'd love to hear it. So you can always reach out to me, and remember, we all stand on the shoulders of giants, so we only progress in magic by helping out each other and supporting what we all do. So guys, I can't wait to see you next time, but in the meantime, as I always like to say, be good, or be good at it.